Yo, what's up guys? Today I'll be showing you a super simple and fast way to make mech legs that can actually walk. It only takes around 5 minutes to build and just requires a few blocks, so let's go over what we'll need to get started. We're going to need 6 servos, 1 remote control block, 1 logic gate block, a few blocks of your choice, a cake block, glue block, or anything that allows you to attach yourself to your mech, and that's all we need. Alright, to get started, first thing we're going to do is turn on anchor block. This will make sure that nothing falls or moves out of place while we're building. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our block of choice and scale it up to around the 16 mark, and then scale it back down to the normal block size. Alright, now we're going to find our servos and place them facing downwards on each side of the block. This will act as our hip joint. And then we're going to put blocks underneath of those servos. And then on those blocks we will put servos facing down and outwards, and this will act as our knee joint. And then put blocks on the inside on those servos. And then we're going to take one more set of servos, and we're going to place that facing downwards outside as well. And then finally we're going to get another block. I'm using fabric because it has higher friction. This will act as our feet, and we'll scale it outward slightly just so it has more surface area. And then lastly, all we gotta do is put a chair on the top. This is the main structure complete, and now we can focus on making it actually function. To make it work, we're gonna place down a logic block. Set that logic block to not so it activates when we're not pressing anything. And then bind that logic block to both of the hip joints as well as the right knee joint. And then we're going to set both knee joints to reverse rotation. And then we're going to place down our remote control block. And then for the left binding, we're going to bind it to something that's out of the way because we're not going to use it. And then for the right binding, this will be what makes you step forward, so I'm using left control just because it's easy to press while I'm holding forward. Do this for both hip servos as well as the left knee servo. Lastly, we're going to bind our remote control block to our logic block. That way when we hold the step forward button, it deactivates our logic block as well. Then we're going to select all of our servos, and we're going to turn our servo torque up a little bit, and then our servo speed down. And for the 2 bottom servos that act as the ankles, we're going to turn the torque all the way down. Before we're ready to use our mech, we have to put a sort of weight on the bottom. I'm using gold because it's the heaviest, but you can use titanium or any other heavy block and it'll work the same. And then we can go ahead and attach ourselves to our mech, equip the remote control, and make sure the weight is collision off so it doesn't interfere with any of our movement, and then you can unanchor and it's good to go. Now when we hold control, it steps forward, and then when we let go, it steps forward with the other leg, and we can alternate between those two to have a fully functional walk cycle. Don't forget that you can also make the weight invisible so it doesn't interfere with the aesthetics of your mech. And that's it! Now you have a super simple walking mechanism in only a few minutes. Real quick, a few things to note are that you can decorate this mech however you want as long as it doesn't interfere with any of the joints. For example, you can see that none of the other blocks are prohibiting the servos from moving, and this is essential for maintaining a working walk cycle. Something else to note is that the heavier your mech is, the more torque you will need to have on each servo, that way your mech can keep itself upright. You can also play around with the angle that your servos turn at and how fast they turn in order to get the walk cycle that you're looking for. Lastly, the mech will only go as fast as your character, but you can speed it up by adding a low power jet to the back. And there you have it. That should be all you need to know to make a simple walking mech in only 5 minutes. If this was helpful, go ahead and help me out by leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. See you in the next one.